I was just very simple. David is super sweet, but it's something very simple. It's just tea, right? It's just hot water, the Chinese tea we're gonna drink, but it's a good one. I brought it from Thailand on this trip in October. I went there and it's from a special place. It's called Govinda Farm. And it's an ashram place where people come to serve. It's a Vaishnav temple of a Vedic culture, but they do tea there. And it's grown in China, but they kind of like still, it comes there and they make it there and they like wrap it there. So it was a very special one. And tea is something that helps us to connect, help us to breathe out a little bit, to invest time in ourselves, to invest time in the present moment, and just be present and be mindful of just right here, right now, and just of breathing. So one of the exercises and little things I like to give and to remind that you can take into your daily life is throughout the tea, you can do it, and then when you go out, you can do it. And it's a yoga technique, like many people know it, who practice yoga or meditation, pranayamas. It's you put your attention to the tip of your nose, and you just to feel how the air is touching the, I don't know how these things called in English. Nostrils, the tip of your nose, how it's a bit different temperature. And when it comes out, like you barely can feel it because it's so warm, and it warms the top of your lip, how the air comes and touches the top of your lip. And this instrument is always with us. Like, you can anytime tap into it and use that technique just to be like, oh, right here, right now, my feelings. So tea is, for me, it's about senses, connecting to our senses, connecting to our feelings, sensations, because these instruments we always have with us. We don't need anything external to, to engage. And many of the medicine, healing, and different instruments are about the senses, are about engaging or enhancing the senses or blocking the senses and so on. So this is one of the instruments we can use. It can be used for anything. And I like to use it for connection with myself and with others. So let's connect and drink some tea. And first we're gonna hum. My favorite thing, we imagine that we're like the bees, the beehive, and we're flying up the mountain. The top of the mountain, like here, we'll be flying out through this portal. And we're gonna do mantra Om, but without closed lips. So it'll be like 3 times. So you don't wait when I finish or when I start. You do your own 3 times in your own pace. And I do my own 3 times in my own pace. And we all together finish, we open our eyes. Okay? Just close your eyes. And first we're going to breathe in and out. And let's start. Breathe in. We breathe in and out. Good. We open our eyes. Allah. Oh, so good. Our main B.
Let's not get right your soul. You feel us talk right.
Yes.
Allah. Thank you. We were saying that we are like bees flying up the mountain, and you are a little bit late, but there's always bees, they're behind and catching up, but you're still our main bee. Our main bee came. It's good.
Yes, there was fishing. So, but the night. So, that's mine. That's it. So, you feel like, we.
So I'm gonna pass around this tea. It's good. It's called chou puer. Chou puer tea. So that tea grows. Usually we know in the bushes. We see the bushes, right? The tea. But actually, tea can grow into a tree. So there are 1,000-year-old trees. There are 2,000-year-old trees, and I'm sure there are older trees that still tea is getting harvested from, and they're making it. And this is not 1,000-year-old tea, but I just want you to know that it exists and it can find you. You can find it, but it finds you. When it's 1,000-year-old tree, it finds you.
And then they're aged after harvest.
Yes, exactly. So they're the ones that are from the very old trees, and then they're getting aged. So there's even more wisdom to it, and even more that kind of a solitude, their wisdom. So, but this is from the tree, which already makes it not as young as the bush, which makes it a bit older. That's why puers, they're usually coming from the trees. So I'm going to pass it on to all of you, and you can take the light and look into it. Look at this tea, and just say hello, to the tea. Smell it.
Hi.
And pass it on. Allah. Hello. Come. No, you can come actually here. There's space here too. We can have a nice circle. I'm giving a light because it's dark here, so it's good to look at it with the light. Hey, come. What's your name?
Gabriela.
Gabriela. Nice to meet you. My name is Madu.
Hi, Madu. Nice to meet you.
Yes. Yeah. It's fine. I'm even.
Have you ever been before a tea ceremony?
No.
It's the first time. So tea, it's a practice. It's a discipline. It's called tea ceremony, but some of my friends, tea actual masters, they say that it's a tea discipline. They don't like to call it a tea ceremony because it's something you practice. It's something you do every day. It's something you dedicate your time, your attention. And it's an instrument that can be used in many ways. And I like to use it as an instrument of mindfulness and of connection to myself and connection to others. And it's about awakening our senses, engaging our senses. So we've been introduced to the tea. You want to take it in your both hands and smell it. So I gave you light just for you to look at it, just to, as a plant, as a spirit lives in every plant, the same as a tea. So we want to see it and we want to smell it, already also engaging our senses of our vision, of our smell. Thank you. And there's a legend that there's a spirit of a dragon lives inside of a tea.
What?
So if we are attentive, respectful with a tea, that spirit can come inside. It can be awakened from within. And now again, I give, it's called Gai 1, around. So you take it, you put your good intention, you open the lid and smell it again.
This.
And breathe out through your mouth and pass it again. And notice if something changed when you smelled it the first time, when you're smelling it now. What do you smell? If it reminds you of something. And here we have a dance of elements, like in the nature. It's just all around us is the elements dancing. Inside of us is element dancing. So I have here 2 elements. Who can guess which elements? Someone already played this game with me, someone didn't. So if someone already knows who played this game with me, you keep it a secret yet? So 2 elements here. Who can guess 2 elements? I'll ask the new people. Water, and the second element?
Air?
Air is good, but it's kind of not the preliminary. There's water and another one.
Fire?
Oh, yeah. So there's 2 elements, this water and fire. And in the pottery, there's also 2 elements that we're drinking from, the clay, which are 2 elements.
Airist.
And the second one?
Fire.
Yeah, because it's, that's how they make it, right? They put it out of clay, they take the clay, but to actually put it in the shape, they need heat, there need to be a fire there.
Yes.
And so we covered 3 elements, and the 4th element, it's everywhere, is the air.
Basically.
The air, it's always there. It's always inside. It's always like you cannot go anywhere. This air, it's not there. So it's just dance of it. The plant itself, it's the life. It's the earth, right? It's that spirit that lives inside. The water, the earth. So it's all around us, and that's inside of us is this alchemy, is these elements dancing. So tea teaches me, at least, about beauty and simplicity, how the simple things can be very beautiful, and this kind of art of living, right? That there can be this art in doing everyday simple things. We can do it as a ritual. We can do it as something special. As I said this in the beginning, just the tip of your nose, that the world starts in the tip of your nose. Just like noticing how you breathe. There is the abundance there. Everyone's talking about the abundance. This is an abundance. The air. And my teacher, my spiritual master, she would say that we have it, but we rarely cherish it. Only the people with asthma, only people who really have problems with breathing, or like Alice, right? You couldn't smell, and now how much appreciation there is, because oh my God, you can smell.
Fun.
of something so simple that so many people have it. And this way of making tea, called Gung Fu Cha, like Kung Fu, but Gung Fu, it's when I'm pouring many times water into the vessel. So I'm making many steeps, infusions of tea. So the tea will be opening up itself slowly, gradually. Like all good things in life, takes time. Everything good you want to get, it takes time. It needs time. So this is one of also things that tea teaches, that it comes slowly, step by step. So instead of making one big cup with a lot of taste, we're making many small cups. And I give you the cups, and you can reach to your cup, and you first smell the tea.
So bad, me.
You're welcome. So we smell it first, and then we want to drink it by slurping it, so we're making a sound. And for what you did tea with me, they know about slurping, but there's now a next step we're doing. After slurping and swallowing, you want to breathe out through your nose.
Yeah.
So you drag the air, the aroma of a tea more, so you can feel more the taste. Okay? And we want to breathe out not through our mouth, but we want to breathe out through our nose. It's so good. Wow. Can feel your all good intentions in this tea.
Good. Tea. Also, if anyone has any questions about tea or not about tea, it's a space that open for conversations, because now we are a pack of bees. We can bzz and share.
I was wondering about like put the water and then put it in.
Uh-huh.
That's a good one. So, when you cooking a food in a pot, frying pan, you're not putting food right away there. What you're doing first when you put it on the stove? What are you doing?
Heating the.
You're heating it, right? You're first heating the frying pan, the pot, then you're putting the oil, you're heating the oil, and then you're putting, so you need to warm it up, you need to heat it up. It's the same here. So first I heat it, that's why we smelled it from chahe, this instrument called chahe, it's bamboo. So first we were introduced the tea in chahe, just the way it is. And then I put hot water in gaiwan, in my, you can say that like a teapot, a vessel. And I pour out the hot water. And I put here the tea. So it was already get connected with humidity, it get connected with some hot air, and it already gave us an opened a different smell. So did you notice the difference between when we smelled here and when we smelled here? It went through a lot of people. I know also it went through a lot of like opening and closing, but still, what was the difference?
Yeah, I could sort of
And did anyone had some associations that came up with the tea when you smelled it? Did it remind you of something? It's okay if not, but it's interesting for me always if it brings up something.
Others are like interesting to blow, like to breathe out through your nose after. I can definitely taste.
Right?
So much better. Yeah.
It did add. Yeah.
It's a nice trick, yeah.
Do you practice every day?
I do. I do start my morning like this every day. That's what I'm saying. It's an instrument, you know, like we have yoga, we have pranayama, we have journaling, we have different, different techniques, different things to come back to ourselves. And I chose this one because it's kind of a meditation, but it's a bit more dynamic. And it's very in my element because I am the water element. And I love the tea as a plant. It's a beautiful plant for me. Now it is my, let's say, only medicine that I take. It's the tea. And its spirit really guides me and helps me a lot. And it helps me to connect not just to myself, but to everyone around me. It's a beautiful drink that can bring people together, and we can talk in open space and discuss anything. And right, it's just a warm drink. But it does magic. It does something. And in all the cultures around the world, there is tea. Argentina, there is mate. In Saudi Arabia and Africa, they have their own tea, right? They're doing all these like Turkish tea, right? It's tea. India, Sri Lanka, Asia, actually China, Europe now. And the tea is the most consumed drink in the world after the water. Not even coffee. Not even the coffee, actually. It's still on top of the charts, the tea. Because there's the variety. There's black tea, there's white tea, there's green tea, there's oolong, there's pu'er, which is not green, not black, not white. It's its own category of tea. So it's a different one.
Which is this?
Huh?
Is this the pu'er?
Pu'er. This is a pu'er tea, yeah.
What's the best tea you've ever had?
Oof.
And where?
I think it's about... No, I cannot say. It's like asking like the best, moment in life, like what's your best memory in life? Like
I can remember last week. Like, but life is like, it's a lot. And because for me, every tea is special and every connection, right? It's special.
Is there a specific region you like more in terms of tea?
Where it comes from?
Like that you gear more?
There are different ones. For example, the pu'ers, they come from a very specific region called Yunnan. Comes from a very specific region. There is another tea like oolongs. If you ever heard of oolongs, oolong tea, milk oolong, it's a famous one. The best ones there are in Taiwan. So there are different regions and different growers. But I think what is the coolest is to find like farmers. Some of my friends, they're managing to find different farmers, different families. I didn't went on those trips yet, but I have friends who did. And when you're finding a family of farmers who grows tea, like maybe some farmers, I don't know if farmers grow here cacao, like it's the farmer, like it's a farmer, right? You can find farmers. So the same with tea, you can find like a small family who grows and like really put love and care through generations, like a tradition, yeah. So this is a big luck to find something like this. And there are some people, my friends, who manage to find it and like take it and they like bring it more into the world. So I did try some of those teas, so where there's like more, right, love and affection there.
Actually, really take it, low key.
And there's tea even been grown in Europe. There's islands called Azores Islands. It's Portuguese islands. They're a bit like far from Portugal, like in the ocean, but they're considered to be part of Portugal. Azores, and they're like the oldest tea plantation of Europe, maybe like the only tea plantation of Europe, because tea likes mountains. Tea likes mountains areas and the mountain air.
So it doesn't grow in other parts of Europe?
Say again?
It doesn't grow in other parts of Europe?
Not flat. They need mountain area.
Yeah, but there's a lot of mountains and you too.
I mean, someone needs to just then really dedicate it to growing tea there, so.
It's not like that going too.
But it's not it shouldn't be like winter. It won't survive through winter.
Used to be able to, you know.
And in China, there's like warm, you know, so there's this like the balance of cold and warm. Like there's no Himalayan tea. It might be some, but like the actual tea, you know, it's like different mountain areas. That's why it's Sri Lanka. That's why it's India. It grows like a bigger one, like Darjeeling and like the Ceylon. It's like there.
But it always comes from the leaves, but comes also from the
Leaves.
rest of the trunk. Just it.
Just leaves. Just leaves.
Me, like how to go in a little bit more, because I heard that the mountains are trees, big trees. The trees grow in time, and everything sounds like that.
Yeah.
That also tells me that life is based on a tree.
Yeah.
And that we are trees. Right? You consider yourselves and the whole spine and all over is this shit. And the Maya call it teol. They still realistic. And go on. And they think the tail. It's kind of the view is So it's what's happening. The point that I don't need to be good. We can make teas from the leaves of the guanabana. And with cancer and respiratory problems. So we can make actually tea.
From everything. Oh, 100%. Yes. And from this one, they use sometimes stamps, not the actual trunk, as you ask, but like little like stamps. Yeah, like little bit they can use in some tea.
Have you heard of Nana? No, it's Moroccan tea, and they just take it from outside and like regrow it and put it in hot water, and it's Moroccan.
Yeah, there are different kinds of like a tea. This they call like a tea, right? The chai, the black one. But there are different herbs.
Yeah.
And this style that I make, you can make also with different plants. I just connect it with the tea a lot, like as an Asian tea, and kind of on my way, on my path, and helps me. And I barely drink coffee. I almost don't drink it. Maybe sometimes when I'm like, yeah.
It does, because for me, I used to never drink coffee, but then I started drinking coffee because I was working in my friend's restaurant for a time to make coffees all day, and then I had to work so long that I got tired, so then I was drinking coffee, and then my coffee addiction kind of started a little bit, where I drink. Now I haven't drank coffee in a couple of days. Sometimes I drink like one coffee a day. That's it, like if not more. But is there like, what is the best tea for like energy?
Basically any tea. It gives you that. And the thing is about tea and coffee, tea doesn't have a drop. The coffee, you have a drop. So you go up, pew, and then it have very strong drop. Then you're just like, whoa, like I don't know how, like withdraw. That's the thing. The elements that tea has, it doesn't give you the drop. It doesn't have, because there's some like special like stoppers. I'm a fairy. I'm not a tea master. I don't know the scientific names. I cannot remember. They are running away from my brain all the time. But there are elements there that like.
Alpha.
Yes, that one that keeps you kind of going, and it's gradually, slowly, kind of like comes down. So it gives the energy. It gives nice like up, and it like uplifts you, and then kind of like. Very slowly. Hola, hey beautiful. Hi. Hey, welcome. Come join us. Join us for a cup of tea. Come. You can sit here, you can sit here, anywhere you see space, you can grab a pillow.
What do you think? They're making ways. Where are they?
There was David there. You can take his spot. We're drinking tea here. We're having a little tea party.
They actually have an alpha and a supplement now. Maybe you get to calm your nervous system.
So this is good. I need to remember. I need like write down all these names. L-theanine, yeah. So there's teens that are working, and it's like L-theanine, yeah.
But yeah, what's for instance the difference between and tea and black tea?
The way how they make it, the fermentation. The way how they make the tea. So green tea is usually it's very fresh tea, just harvested, and you want to drink it within a year. And the black tea, it's usually we call it black, but it's actually technically in China there's not existing black tea. They will say it's red. It's red tea, so it's called like red tea. And it's just more fermented tea, so it's more exposed to oxygen. So that's why kind of like getting darker, and it's also roasted. They're roasting it. Ooh. They're also roasting this tea.
Okay.
So that's why many times like a black tea, as we know, have this kind of taste, special specific taste. So, but they're both,
working materials. It's more about your like taste preferences. And for me, for example, green tea, it's more giving, it's more like a summer, spring drink. And for example, red, black tea, it's more winter. When it's kind of cold, you want to like, it makes you like really sweat. It makes you really like, like brings up your temperature of your body higher.
It's kind of crazy. The hot water has regulated my body's temperature, and now I'm not sweating.
Yeah. Like that's why in the desert, right, they drink tea. It's a desert tea. They don't drink iced tea. And the ice.
It's so very like, summer you should actually take a hot shower.
Yeah. Guys, you don't mind if I take a picture? Just so nice.
That's a whole
No, it's fine. I like pictures that are like low key, like kind of like no one looking. Yeah, no one looking.
It's just tea nuts up.
Yeah.
All the fish from tea.
Yeah, the dragon. It's my year of a dragon. Was this okay, guys? I have a question for you. What this year symbolizes for you? The beginning of this year. Okay, we have the abundance. Who else wants to share? Okay, share about the balance. Change of what?
Spiritual life.
Spiritual life.
Yeah.
So the spiritual life changes, or it changed from something to spiritual life?
For me, it changes. None doesn't change. In me, it changes.
No. Yeah, I'm asking about you. It's like your personal.
Yeah. From a different person today versus parents.
Oh wow! Congratulations. That's big.
It just get tried out because then she go for so I think
Yeah, that's because. Wow. That's a big change. It's a big shift.
I wish current and I shouldn't.
What's that the kings?
Thanks.
Your word 42? Question?
This is what I'm feeling. Church.
Yes, for the abundance and change and assurance. Yeah, what was the other word here? Change, yeah.
So what do you think?
What is love?
Yeah.
Oh, mine? Oh, power. Guys, my year has been oof. That's why I have the dragon, where he reminds me that this is inside. I have this inside of me living. It's like, wow, that's me, oh my God. Okay. But like a peaceful warrior, you know? Like a good power. It's the year where I'm flying out of the cage. I was in a cage for a while. I loved it. It was very nice. And sometimes it's important to learn how to use this power within a cage, how to use the force within a limited space, how to use the force and the, uncontrollable, the potential and power within a limited space, within the frames in the cage. So then when you learn it and when you know how to deal with it in a closed space, when the cage is open, the frames are gone, there are no limits, it's not all gone. You're not just like, and like lost it. You know already how to deal with that flow of that potential of that water and that force. You know how to control those shores, those bridges, how kind of like, how to carefully care of that kind of like water flow, that water power,
how carefully and gradually. So this is about that. The cage is gone. The boundaries are gone. And whew, okay.
That's a beautiful movement, you know. It's
Yeah.
graceful.
Learn how to cheek. So it's also change, I think, for me too. Change, but more like in terms of a very big power that being shown to the world, kind of unleashed to the world. But now I know how to lovingly guide it and kind of like
Freedom.
oh yeah there is freedom. It's true, yeah, it is also there. Okay, David, we're ready to move on because I'm out of water, or we can make more water because the tea can flow more.
Okay, well, yes, because we just have, the hour left, so, let's go on to part 2.
Okay.
I just moved my
What? Mic, switch your mic. Okay. Okay, guys, we are here. Good with tea. I hope you enjoy the Shan. It's called Shan tea from Giving Space to David.
Well, thank you so much. It's truly a beautiful introduction, to me, and
Thank you, David. If not you,
I know that you should be second. You should be the draw. No, be the opening act.
Just the tea.
Yeah, but it's the
Water.
it's the directed cared attention of how can I create a beautiful experience for myself on a regular basis, where I come back into a reverence and a respect for who I am, so that I'm always, taking care of my body, taking care of my mind, taking care of my relationships. So it's the pattern for that.
It's about the intention, right? And attention.
Thank you for your attention, because my intention for myself and for each person here is for them to have that, thank God, as I'm open again experience, that reawakening, that coming back to your divine core, and enjoying that in the body for a moment, just what's it like when we just say, fuck it, if the divine is true and is knocking on my door, here I am. What's up with you? What can you do for me, But when you do that, when you connect with a divine resonance, you can't hold on to the beliefs, the thoughts, the ideas, the map of reality that we share as a collective humanity. We enter the realm of, our lives here on earth are a dream. And we're here to have an awakening within the dream. We're here to finally celebrate divinely what it is to embody in an amazing human world and creator consciousness. unravels all the thoughts, all the ideas, all the belief systems, all the lies, all of the agreements, all of the events and energies that happened in a dream and have no more relevance to us as we're a new beginning. We're the end of the last game and the first of a new way of being, one that's been talked about, but one that we each should be living for ourselves by our own choice. And looking wherever they need to look for, who is here on earth looking to share that reality. Is there somebody I can mirror with that has opened the door to knowing his own wisdom, his own grace, his own majesty, pure divine nature, awakened within your identity, within your personality. We're just finding a way to operate, within the confines that we've had, and at the same time have what we always wished for too, when we're trying to figure out how do we improve our lives into something worth living. So this is just the third time that we've done this, and these are all my friends, and except for these two, and so they're here supporting me in whatever it is I'm looking at, and this is a great place to do that at, because in this holy temple is recognition of every divine tradition. It's saying, yeah, we're here, we're whole, we're complete. Divine beings, you are welcome to commune here. That's the blessing that he's given us. It's a place where the divine is invoked every day. And once in a while shows up every day too. The point is there's a place here that has been set up for divine communion. And instead of searching for it, we should just sit down and let it happen. Let our divine self that we're able to kind of grab onto it a little bit once in a while when we take a look, and don't know that we're still there and that we can safely play here in the mud because we've got a lifeline. There's a bunch of people who would love to interact with you on that level, where we can be inspired by the goddess, awakened and beautifully informed, not swayed by human opinions, politics, religion, nothing, but you're here and you're real and you're true. You're true to yourself and you're true to everybody else. You have an integrity about your life, and now you're contemplating, how much more am I going to allow myself to know? How much more am I going to allow myself to experience of my truth, of the truth that sets us free? How much more? And then just let it happen, open it a space, at a pace and an amount where you're comfortable in each moment. It's not a race. You know, what do you have to feel? What do you have to own about yourself? What do you have to confront? For the things that bind you here, you know, the results of all of your behaviors and all of your words, all of the obligations that you've taken on for yourself here, you know, they're there, but we're waking up a lot more, and then we'll deal with our obligations in life much more intelligently, you know, in a way that somehow everybody's happy without even really having to try and work real hard so that unhappy people are happy. No, let's just open up within ourselves so we're not searching so hard, but we're instead enjoying what we already found. What you've already found inside of you, you know. It's okay to take a vacation there and know the divine creator of the universe within your own heart. He who can experience that is that. And I suspect that that's part of what changes you've been going to for the last 5 months. Yeah, so at this point, you know, you can trust, you know, so open up universally, open up to every point of view, every energy, everything that individuates as consciousness, you know, just universally be there for everybody, everywhere, all the time. And let that connection, that awareness of all of that connection that's there, where there isn't anything that isn't in your network. Yeah. So just allow yourself to come to awareness there. You know, keep enough of your consciousness so that you can, you know, maintain your life, but when you have a free moment, how much of a miracle am I willing to experience in this moment is a question you should ask yourself regularly. Because a miraculous life is the divine life. And the divine is your truth. And so in your opening to truth, you know, stay open and keep receiving until you've received enough to be self-aware there, you know, wherever you are off in your fall from grace, whatever you were deficient in, whatever things that you did that you shouldn't have done, if there's such a thing possible, I don't think there is. But whatever it is that sets up the rules and the regulations of your opening into your mastery and your truth, and your power, and your divine understanding and unconditional love. So I just suggest that that's what's happening to you, you know, and be okay with it. And it'll get easier and easier. Until you can be one of those people that embody enough grace where people just say, man, I like that guy. And that's where I'm trying to get personal. I'm trying to get to the point where the people that I share my life with actually like me, you know, and appreciate me for who I am and for what I'm trying to accomplish. And so that's a big shift for me. I've been surrounded by enemies in terms of doing business and such that it was impossible for me to maintain any legitimate self-awareness of myself outside of the story of my life, you know. So we can lose ourselves so easily and so completely in the creation that we can so over-identify to the body and the chemical and mineral and everything that the body does to make it difficult to maintain your self-awareness of the unidentified truth of you. The truth of you that just is, and it doesn't identify. Because when you're in that truth and then you identify with something like a body, and then, you know, you've just created a game that you've inserted yourself to, and you've put unreasonable limitations on yourself so that the game is the only thing you know. You can't know your truths beyond the life. But, you know, I'll just take the point of view that I was the one that made every one of you guys agree to stupid, unreasonable demands that are made on spiritual beings throughout space and time and eternity. But, so binding energies, I haven't talked about this for 25 years. But those things that serve to get a consciousness to consider that something else is greater than that, you know. So in life, you've got, you know, ideas, belief systems, commandments, laws, you know, opinions from your parents, your society, all about what it is to be a human and how to do it right, you know, so that everybody gets along. But at some point, you know, I think each one of us wanted to end that agreement and say, no, it's okay for me to awaken this lifetime. It's okay for me to be myself all the time in my experience of myself. You don't have to pretend to yourself anymore about who you are. You can let everybody else pretend, but within yourself, you know, you're not confused about what you are, who you are, where you are, why you are, and what you're doing here to be a blessing to this world. You know, just think you're doing everything great, you know, but don't be afraid to let somebody see and experience that divine truth of you, where everybody's at peace and ease because you're around. You know, everything calms down, everything goes, So that you know, I don't know you, but I saw a glimpse. So it's okay to be you as that. So I don't know why I say things like that either, but you know, I have to. You know, when it's what's moving me, you know, and what's moving me in a manner that frees me from the limitations that I have in my mind and in my body. So, was all sincerely felt and then said. Nice to feel you. Nice to see you. Nice to know that your consciousness of eternity is being well represented with your body and personality and identity. So thank you for that. Release. The areas where you criticize yourself, you take yourself and criticism too seriously. You're a little bit lighthearted in your self-judgments. Okay? You're here so ready to blossom and be in your truth and serve the world and be a divine goddess.
Yeah.
But you left out the part where you focus on that experience without letting up until that experience has become you. And there's not any more this misidentification as your primary identity as being everything that happened to the body. You know, none of that really matters. You can shove all that relevance in terms of how you operate here down to less than 20%, you know? But instead of having nothing in the bank, in your spiritual bank account, open up enough for the universe to instantly fill that unfillable account, you know, just It's okay to take a miracle on one. You don't run out of them. Once you start taking them, you get more. If you ever actually accept a miracle and allow it to act upon you, to allow it to move through you and until you're moving as it makes you much more susceptible to the next one. You know, and there's a lot of consciousnesses, a lot of beings that would like to bless. You. So, let them. Let them. Quit trying so hard. Let them fucking wake you up. You know, they're your friends. They've been waiting. They said they would do it. Don't feel bad about saying, hey, buddies, show me what's what about the universe and what I am, you know, beyond this body and this life, you know. Catch me up. Yeah. It's okay. You're doing fucking great. We all like you. Some of us love you. The ones that don't are unlovable themselves, so it doesn't matter. Okay. You're in a safe place, and we're happy you're here. We're happy how much you honor the divine feminine within yourself, how mentally and emotionally open you are to that you're denying your truth and your plead. Because the way that you're asking for it is for the lost consciousness, that divine light that got obscured by patterns and networks of lies and thoughts and beliefs until literally God didn't know who she was anymore. Only that she was stuck in a story, and most of the time all she knew was that she was a part of life in this particular combination, and that's all you knew. Then maybe you took some drugs or did some meditation and found out that this is nothing and there's everything out there. And let's just say that you planned for yourself to have the life that you've lived already. This is it. This is what you wanted. Could I have a drink of that water? That'd be great. Thank you. So there's nothing to feel bad about. If as a divine self-aware being, prior to taking on the body in the first place, so none of this had anything to do, but you said, okay, it's going to be a girl, this is going to be the mom, this is going to be the dad, and the life is going to go like this. And they have all these experiences because they prepare me, they orient me, they show me the best and the worst. They show me the dark and the light. You know, I get a full flavor of reality in this path that you've already lived. And it's already complete because you came here to be the you that you are in this moment. And you accomplished your intention for yourself to come through life this way, completely and absolutely. There's nothing about you that's out of place. It was entirely supposed to be you in this moment as you are. And it was perfectly done, 100%, A+. So now your life is complete. You have no more life purpose. But you do have a life. You have a life with no purpose anymore because you already accomplished your divine life purpose already. So you have access to your divine awareness then, don't you? Ooh, that divine self-awareness, you know where you are, you know where you're hiding out. Come in and embrace the body, love your body. It's time to free it up. It's time for that body to know divine unconditional love, beginning with the fucking inhabitant, loving itself. Come on. Don't curse your body by not being in love with yourself. In a beautiful healing way, not a narcissistic one. An Oscar. Whew. My life is changing because of Oscar and the experiences that I'm having around here. So I'm doing the best I can, Oscar, and I test the boundaries, and but thank you for my being welcomed here, and I appreciate it. I appreciate what you've done and in your invocation of the divine to be here and present, and feels a little bit divine in here tonight, doesn't it? You feel how everything just went into oneness now? Yeah. This is the Temple of Awakening, and you're here. And regardless of who's speaking, you invited yourself to contemplate that, so decide if you're going to accept your invitation to awaken in this moment. It's your own invitation. I'm just saying it because you knew I'd say it if you came here. But you wanted somebody to say it to you, so I'm saying it to you. It's your time. It's your place. It's your truth. It's not one that you make up. It's one that you surrender yourself to. Allow it to destroy the ideas, the stories, the beliefs, the creations. So how do you think a body's temple is cleansed for the Spirit of God to occupy it? The stories of life, of human reality, are contextual truths that are nothing compared to eternity, okay? And this one's light, dark, right and wrong, good and evil. And your eternity is as divine creators. So there's one abnormal reality down here, and that's where we find ourselves, and we're simply choosing to now begin to own our truth here. And to allow that divine realization to set the body free. You know, our souls are fine. But making these bodies a true home for the celestial, for conscious that has a father God, a mother God, a brother God, sister goddesses, mother goddess. It's your family. When they were embodied, how did they do it? When they chose to awaken, when they chose to be true to the eternal over the temporal. How did life change for them? You know, they were something else before, and then they surrendered to the divine to reformat them, you know, to reconfigure the mind and the heart and the body and what you experience is truth. So I don't propose to say there's anything that you need to do about anything, you know. You're the leader. But and I'm grateful for what you've done. And I'll support you all I can. And I'll be as circumspect as I can about us talking about divine awakenings as ourselves. You know, I know that's a sensitive subject. You know, there's a lot of opinions about it, but if the divine is true about us, who should censor that? Only the divine can censure the divine, and when something's divine, the only thing that can censure it is itself. So if there's any reason that you aren't fully divinely awakened right here and now in this moment, is your choice. Nobody else's. Once you choose to be something, the universe goes into a harmonic resonance with that. Whatever you think that you are, whatever you're telling everybody is that, hey, I'm this guy, and I'm like this, and I'm like that, and I interact like this, and then everybody says, okay. And that's how we see you, that's how we treat you. Oh. 5 months of experiences that have already changed your life. How much further can it go? No, well, that's stupid. It can go all the way to you being a big bang that blows us all to each having our own universe. But what, as you've been orienting as a man through some divine experiences, and where your system's being shaken and beliefs, and you know, everything gets a little confusing sometimes for a while. But it all comes back down to another choice point, and that is, from an outside point of view, looking at yourself from the moon, that you're there on the earth and you really can't figure out where you are, but you know you're down there somewhere. And you say, okay, I'm going to come in with enough of my consciousness now into the body. I'm coming into the body, and I'm putting enough into the body for the body to be worthy of being called self-realized, self-aware, wise, master, a genius. So as creator God, God is consciousness, you know, take a look at yourself from the moon. Know that your body's down there. And with that separation now from the body, what's real and true about you eternally? You know, how much divine grace is there? Can it be measured? Is it infinite? Is it not there at all? What is it? What is it? You reveal yourself to yourself whenever you actually choose. And we're really only talking about this tonight because I'm just experimenting with the changes that I can go through when I share something like this with somebody else. Because it's a difficult choice to make, you know, to go from, hey, I'm a comfortable human living like this, to going, okay, how far am I going to open Pandora's box? You know, because I'm afraid, because I know what all the way is. But at least I'd like to come in cleanly and clearly enough so that, you know, my pains and sorrows and disappointments and, you know, none of that matters. Yeah, it happened, but it doesn't matter at all. Not at all. If you're going to divinely self-realize here, what does the past matter? So as you're making the choice as to whether to do it or not, realize that there's the only requirement is that you consider and that you do the very best thing that you can do to not say no so adamantly in each moment that you ask the question. You know, because when you ask the question as a divine being, instant, like in a cartoon. It's how it should be, so why isn't it? You can't make a causative choice from polarized point of view. And I gotta sit on the bench or I'm going to not be able to move my leg. Completely went to sleep. So interestingly, you know, there's one of my very new friends, and I hope to remain one of my dearest friends for the rest of my life. You know, I've been coming and working with her here in the past 3 months and receiving from her, not me working on her, but receiving from her, I've been liberated internally from virtually anything that was impinging on me when different events happened, you know. And so I don't have these automatic shutdowns anymore. And so if you get a chance to work with her, I mean, before she blows up and has time for nobody, if she has an open appointment, it's a crime against humanity. So. Oh. Madhu, I have nothing to say to because what do I know? What do I know? I'm obviously an idiot, you know, and a pushover and you know, someone that shouldn't be allowed out by himself. But, you know, there's a strange thing, you know. Any consciousness can choose to be divinely aware. And if they move that beyond the thought process, beyond the identity process, and they just say, okay, there's thoughts here, here's an identity here, I'm going to look at divinity from outside my identity. And that's where you find the free flow. Just get rid of your identity and look the divine in the eye. Be free. You're my guru, babe, number 2. Well done in everything. And I was going to tell you this personally, but I'm going to tell it in front of everybody. As you're going on about your travels, if it comes that I'm able to create a place here, it's going to have a place for tea and people who want to take it every day. Yeah. And so there'll be a place for that, unoccupied, until you come to take that place for us.
Unity.
Okay. So coming back a little bit more to reality, you know, how can we put this in such a way that, you know, there's a useful thought you can carry around with you, as if there ever could be one. If you have to remind yourself about something divinely important, all previous instructions and plans are off the table. There's one action, and that's surrender. Absolute responsibility for who and what you are in the moment, just like the completion I gave her. You came here to be exactly this, all of it, exactly as you are. At that point, now you have a new choice point where you can choose to, without the burdens of everything else that you're trying to be for this fabricated identity that you've been, that you've owned so beautifully, you know, but now you're water too, you're free flow. And, but it's got to be done responsible wise, you know. The first thing you have to let in is your wisdom. You know, sit and contemplate and until you wake up enough to be wise and don't make any decisions or commitments or obligations that are important at all for your future, and making sure you're not binding yourself to anything in the future. You know, find a way to keep yourself inspired. Now, Madhu does it with a ritual, you know. She can count on her waking herself up every morning beautifully. And she's like a clock. With a little bit of an alarm, one that says, hey, wake up. It's time to be good to yourself. That's the Madhu alarm clock. Wake up, come on. It's time to be good to yourself. It's time to you to love your body, to be aware of your environment, to connect with somebody, you know, in a non-trivial way, you know, to look and see and be seen. And then, yeah, communion, you know. Nothing needs to be said. All you know is that
It feels good. And it's conscious. And it has compassion. Everybody that you can connect with on that level, you're encouraged to, you're supposed to. We need somebody like you that can love people back to being on track. Just with a little, hey, and until they catch the resonance again, right? And then they're okay again. So it's just 30 seconds. You can tune somebody up that lost their way. You don't have to be looking for it, but if they are, then you can do a 30-second tune-up that might otherwise cost somebody the rest of their life in unconsciousness and inability to serve here as they intended, so yeah, Betsy Ross, right? For consciousness. No. Okay. I know you already knew all this, and you're allowing me to share as I can. But, I'm in awe of you. So, well done. What's your name? Deborah. Look, who? What I said before, is what I said, and it's pretty accurate. But in the meantime, is there a way to not be seeking so hard, Is there a way for you to easily just notice, feel inside you? Feel just feel the construct, your bones and your connecting tissues, and notice that they're opening up and relaxing and giving you space to be there without the body being in stress, without the body being in fight or flight. So to experience that's something I need to experience too, and I'm trying to figure out how that happens right now. So I'm not lecturing you. I'm exploring the same map, the same territory that we already both share. Okay. So I don't ever want to seem condescending to you or know-it-all. I'm just pretty good sometimes at asking the question and then opening up and receiving the answer. And the answer is you're doing good. You've been doing a lot better than me. You're a positive influence on the religious community here. People look up to you. You have a breadth of knowledge. lots of experience, lots of wisdom. What's it going to look like when you make the next quantum leap, expansion of consciousness, a new step on the stairway to heaven where you tested it out with one foot, then you put some weight on it, you picked up your other foot. Now you're in the new reality. In with both feet. You'll adjust just fine, automatically, gracefully, at the correct gradient. A beautiful experience if you go in with both feet. And by that I mean, don't look at the divine through the lens of your personality, through your experience of a self-identity. You know how to do it, you just step aside from that. Stop looking through those lenses. Move them off. And feel the free flow that's readily available outside of your mask. You know, you just took the mask, moved it to the side. Now, so I take off my mask. You take off your mask. And now there's no barriers between us. We can readily assess each other, you know, as to who and what we are. And then you begin to have a shared experience where, wow, okay, this feels good. You know, here's a man that's absolutely willing to be free, to know what it is in his experience of himself, of his body, as his identity, as his personality. He's willing, within the confines of all the limitations, still be exceptional. He doesn't have to set all those limitations aside. He can keep all of his little limitations and be the guy that came back, self-aware, self-realized, divinely abundant. And so how much of that do you just go ahead and own? You know, what's the correct gradient for divine awakening here on earth? You know what the rules are? Yeah, me neither. But apparently, they're really difficult. I think you just have to say, oh, well, whoever made those rules weren't divine. Why are we even looking at the book? Whatever book that is. I'm not saying anything bad about religious documents or scriptures. All I'm saying is that we're right here, right now. And the stories of the past, if we pay attention to the stories of the past from this present moment, then we'll certainly be honoring them. But I would rather honor them with our joining them in our awakened selves as their awakened selves. I think that would be a more appropriate, respectful way to honor their stories and their gifts. Love it. We're all invited? Yep. Me too? Yep. Join them. Join them. Then decide from there what to do. You'll be a lot wiser afterwards, so you don't need to pre-plan what you're going to do. Just, you know, how much you're going to open and own your divine truth, your eternal essence. You know, the earth's changing, you know that. You know, the people are opening, and I don't think it's incumbent upon you to look at other people for guidelines and why and how you should do something when they demonstratedly aren't doing it themselves. So, all the wisdom accumulated in the world points you to one lesson: personal responsibility of your own self-awareness. We can only trap ourselves. Every decision we ever made led us to the point where others could manipulate us. This is how you back out of that. We're down to one light. I guess it's about time to wrap it up. What time is it?
Just because like the light we're in our
I guess they weren't charged enough.
Light it up for 2 hours.
Well, I hope nobody's too shocked about what I said. You know, it shocks me when I say it, but I say it anyway. Because whatever it is that I feel as I'm intending to open to the truth that sets me free, then as I open and I experience, and if I'm here to say something about it, then I express my experience, you know. What I'm feeling is, as I'm moving through it, is it's telling its story and then going on its way. You know, it's not a story that sticks with you. It's a story that informs you and then becomes something else beautiful. So let your life now, in this moment, be the most incredibly beautiful and inspiring and loving story that a human mind could ever imagine. Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah. Okay, yeah, a brave one. Wow. Now, I don't know if anybody else noticed how much freer it just got in this room, but it's thanks to her, what she just chose for herself. So thanks for that. Anyone got any questions? Well, appreciate you being here. It's an honor to meet you and you. I didn't meet you, I knew you. You and you. But it's a true honor to know you. And Elise, I think some magic's coming for you. I think that opening that you're planning for is knocking at your door and saying, hey, yeah, I know you planned on this, you know, off over there somewhere, but here I am. You know, you skipped the line. You know, it's okay to be you now. You don't have to train anymore. You don't have to define anymore. Yeah. just let the divine be in charge of everything that's wrong with you. Say, that's where I surrender. I take full responsibility for being messed up like this, but I also surrender infinitely to the truth that sets me free from it. You know, there's no commerce going on there. It's just what is. It's when you open to the truth, you know, it flows as it chooses to flow, and you let it. And if it chooses to flow through your body, lucky you.